Do you fear drowning? Well, what about suffocating in an underwater room of air? I've already made a video about Okene's miraculous rescue, but what happens when we don't find the victims in time? On December 7th, 1941, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor left 19 ships damaged or destroyed. One of these ships was the USS West Virginia, which received a critical torpedo hit that day. In order to prevent the ship from fully sinking, Lieutenant John S. Harper initiated an emergency procedure to prevent the flood from spreading to the upper levels. This involved closing all of the hatches on the lower levels and counterflooding the starboard side. The sailors who were in the lower levels when the torpedo hit got trapped by the locked hatches and drowned. However, sailors Ronald Endicott, Clifford Olds, and Louis Costing luckily managed to seal themselves in a small, dry room before the entire level flooded. The next day, all three of the sailors were still trapped 40 feet underwater in their small sealed room. People began to notice the three soldiers banging on the underwater walls in the torpedo-struck USS West Virginia. Soldiers and engineers alike desperately tried to think of plans to rescue the three sailors, but there were no good options. The sailors were truly trapped. It was near impossible to help the sailors, as cutting a hole would rapidly flood the room, and using a torch would ignite trapped gases, causing an explosion. When the wreck was finally salvaged 30 days later, the crew found a calendar with X's in it, showing the sailors were trapped for 16 days before they died. The suffering and anguish these men must have faced is unthinkable. Once the thought crossed their minds that they may not be rescued, they had to think about dying in that small, dark hole underwater for more than 2 weeks. That has got to be one of the worst ways one can die.